Radioman here. I'm going to do a video you guys have been asking for in a while, how I do my live feeds. So the reason why this camera is here is this camera provides the S-meter feed that you guys see in my live feeds. And this goes into my computer down here that is the video feed or whatever. All the software is on that for my SDR that you see with the pan adapter, and the software that feeds the video to YouTube, that processes that. So that's essentially there. And the next thing that makes up that component is my SDR receiver, which is here, which is the SDR Play. And I'm using the Duo, which has it actually has 3 antenna inputs, 2 50 ohms and then 1 high Z input on the back. So that's what comprises what you guys are seeing. And here just is how, like this, when I'm not doing feeds, this just unclamps and the cabinet door closes. So I just had that there so you guys can see what I'm doing with that. So the next thing I'll do is I will explain how am I getting this onto my software, and I'll show you guys that just in a second. So the next thing is what you're looking at here. Maybe that's too much light. There we go. What you're looking at here is just an old Vizio TV. I don't know, I think it's like a 32-inch TV that I use. I feed. So what you're actually looking at is this, the RF. I have tapped the RF inside the Ranger 2995. And I'm going to explain how I do that. I tap it in such a way to not load down the receive on the 2995. So I've split the signal, I've taken the RF out of this, and I fed it into the second antenna input of my SDR Play. And I've done it in such a way, and we'll get to that in the video so you can see it. I've done it in such a way that this now, essentially, I have 2 receiver outputs, basically. So I can be on channel 12 here, and then I've tapped this, and I'm feeding the RF into this second antenna input. That comes over here, and as you can see, I'm on my second end. I have other antennas that I do for like SWL and all that, but that second antenna is coming off of my 2995. It's behind the receiver relay, it's behind the RF filtering the front end, and now I can look at a swath of frequencies. And I think like right now, I think I'm looking at, I'm trying to see here, like 26 to 28. So I'm looking at about 2 megahertz here. I can go up to 10 megahertz. The limit is the RF filtering. As you can see, you know, you can only go, I mean, 10 megahertz. I don't need to see that much. I'm literally seeing, like, you know, all the lower channels below channel 1, and I can see, you know, all the upper channels simultaneously. So this is just, and this is totally protected because it's behind the antenna relay. So when I go to transmit, when the 2995 goes to transmit, it's behind the antenna relay inside the radio. So if it's protecting the receiver in the 2995, it's protecting my SDR Play. So it's behind that. So basically I'm taking one antenna feed that's outside on my CB antenna, and I'm getting all of this that I can see that's going on. And so this can be parked on a channel, which it's on 12, and this can be here. The advantage of doing this is there's more, the receiver on this can be opened up. It's probably a better receiver than what is in the 2995. It allows me to, I don't do it because it's too confusing, but I could have multiple receive channels by opening up different virtual receivers. Right now I have one virtual receiver going on 28. I could open up 2 more virtual receivers and have multiple channels. I can mute the audio, squelch the audio, I can do whatever I want. Independent volume. The sky is really the limit. The advantage of doing it this way, instead of running 2 antennas, now I don't have to worry about RF coming down the pipe and wiping this thing out. I'm sharing the antenna. I'm using the same exact antenna as my 2095. I don't have to cook up any type of relay schemes, any switching, any of that, because by tapping a point inside of this, behind the antenna relay, behind the receiver front end, I'm using the equipment here and just sending that RF into this in such a way that I'm not loading this down. And I use a commercial product to do that. It's very cheap. You have to install it yourself. I will show you that in just a minute. The next thing I use is, how do you guys see it on YouTube? I use this software called Streamlabs Desktop. Tons of videos. It's free software. Tons of videos on how to use it. This is what I use. Takes a minute to load. Pause it while it's loading. Okay, so once it's loaded, you can create all these different scenes on the fly. So imagine like a cable news station when they have up all the different things. So as you can see right now, my camera is just laying on the stereo. So you can create all these different scenes, and I'll show you, like, you know, just for fun, just to give you an idea. You can put that up. I have, let's see, you can have just a screen share. So right now you're just seeing, if you wanted to show somebody a video demonstration, you could start recording down here and minimize this, and they're going to see whatever is on your screen. You could have, you know, just your webcam. So you can change these all on the fly, is basically what I'm getting at. My videogate one, I have, these are all the elements in the scene. So you have my little Radioman card that I put there, and you can move this, you can stretch it, whatever. The text crawl, which is, you can turn it on and off. Right now I have it off, on, off, so as you can see. So you can have your text crawl going. You know, the clock that you see. Here's my webcam, and this is my display capture, so whatever's on my computer right now gets broadcast. So let me put this back, see if I can do this. So I put my webcam up. So there's the S meter. So what I've done is, you can crop that and zoom it and everything. I just threw it up there real quick. It's not perfect, so that when you're streaming online, all I do is I just move over this, because people don't care to see my presets, so I just slide this over. As you can see, there's a little gap here. That's where my S meter is. So you set up your scene. I think if I had 2 monitors, this would be easier, because I could have this software on one monitor. You know, I could have Streamlabs on one monitor and my desktop on another monitor. So what I end up having to do is, I kind of had to set it up like that, and you can see how that's up in the corner. And I kind of had to, basically, I created a live video, and I would watch, you know, I'd kind of have to minimize it, move things around. But now, when I go online and do a live gate, you know, I can zoom in, so that people, this is what people like to see, is they like to see their signal. So they're seeing their live S meter, which is up there in the corner. Maybe I ought to bring that up on YouTube, but you can zoom in on the signal. So you can see, I'm on 27285. You can see that this guy is, there's somebody there that was just off frequency. So here's their spectral display, right? And then here's their audio frequency display, and it looks like a bunch of people are just talking at once. Let's see if we can find somebody a little better. Let's zoom out real quick here. Better signal to look at. Here's one here. We'll go down to 185. So here's somebody talking right here. we can zoom in on them so you can see the signal, right? And then you see their audio display here, their bandwidth. So I just zoomed in a little bit on that. So we're looking at 8 kilohertz of bandwidth. You can see the guy's got a VFO wind up. They go, does that thing when he keys up. And you can see, you know, where their energy is. You know, you got your low frequency, your low frequencies here. As you go out, the frequencies get higher. So, you know, bass, mids, you know, trebles, I guess you'd say. So anyways, that's what you guys see, minus I can't show you the S meter because I'm filming this on my phone, but that's how I'm doing my live stream. So when I'm ready to go on YouTube, all I do is if I'm recording a video, I just hit the record button and it records it to my hard drive. I'm going live, I hit the go live button. And I'm not going to show you that, but I have to put in like YouTube account information down here. So the software is connected to my YouTube account. So there's the S meter I'm talking about. So the reason why I did that is guys like seeing the analog meters. So that's why I did that. I know that, you know, I know that this has a meter here, and there is kind of a quasi-analog meter here, but I think people just like seeing that. So all I'm really, this is coming off my RF tap point in the 2995. So when you're seeing my live feeds, let me back up. When you're seeing my live feeds, this is being demodulated in the SDR play. You're actually seeing my SDR play receiver. The only thing that's coming off of my 2995 is my transmitter. That's me. So the 2995 is the transmitter, and on the receive, the only thing I'm using on the receive is the S meter that's up here in the corner. So I'm basically running split. You know, I'm running the SDR play as the receiver and the 2995 is the transmitter. I don't have to do it that way. You can really, the sky's the limit. I could just purely operate off the, like when I'm talking to you guys, I could purely operate off the 2995 transmit receive and just use this as a visual component. Really, the sky's the limit. When I'm not live streaming, sometimes I park the radio on the local and I bring up a couple different receivers here to monitor what's going on. So this just offers a lot of flexibility of multiple receivers. I'm able to share the same antenna, so it cuts down on complexity and RF overload issues. So this is how I'm doing it. I guess the next thing is I will show you the hardware that I use. This is what I use inside my 2995. I'll put a link to this guy's website. I think his website's changed since I've ordered it, but I know for a fact somewhere on this website he had listed some CB radios. Maybe it's under the more section. I mean, this would be an ideal situation where I could use the screen share. Maybe I should just do that. There was somewhere on here where he said what radios, when I had first ordered this, like what radios he had actually done, and he did list a few CB radios. But so my point is if you have a schematic for your radio and you provide him with a schematic, he will offer, so the one that I have is the right here, the high Z tap board. This is the one that I have, high Z. So you can either tap RF or IF. The difference is if you tap IF, you're only going to get a window that's going to be limited as to where this radio is tuned, okay? I went with an RF tap, so I'm just seeing the raw RF coming down the antenna. It just gives me more flexibility. Guy gives an explanation on all of it. Yeah, I think he changed his website because I remember reading he had a list of radios that people have put these in. So anyways, this is the one that I have. I ordered it from this guy. I think it's like, I paid like 25 bucks. I don't know what these are up to now. How to order. Let's just see. What does he say? Shipping. Does it say on here? I'm trying to like look through a phone. Doesn't say on here, does it? Did I miss it? Oh, price list. Here we go. So yeah, here's, you know, IF/RF tap boards, 22 bucks, and you can get the connector kit, and I'll show you that. That comes with like all the little SMA stuff. So there's all the stuff. You tell the guy, hey, this is what I want to do. This is the radio. You can provide him with a schematic. You know, he was pretty helpful. So that's the guy, KD2C, and I'll put a link in the description of the video. So I will then pull my radio out of the rack and show you guys what I did. Alright guys, here's the cover off the bottom of the radio. This is the board I was talking about. I ordered the wire kit with it just because it made life easier. So all I had to do was get 12 volts. Now the man that sold this board on that website, he provided, I sent him the schematic for this radio, and he said, you know, hey, this is where I would get your 12 volts from. And as you can see here, this is where he suggested, so this is actually, he doesn't tell me exactly where to put it. He gave me the point. This is, I'd have to look at the schematic, but there's basically an RF can here on this side of the board. I don't remember which can it is, but it's tapped into one of the cans, and you can see I just, you know, soldered that to the board. And that's like that from the factory. That's just how it is. It's not something that, oh, you have something unsoldered there. So as you can see, I've tapped the RF. I use this little piece of coax, and then on the other side of the radio there was already like, if you can see here, I don't know why they do this, but see how they have a hole here? Well, I just used one of those holes and I just made it bigger. So can we see that? So yeah, so you can see my finger. Let me get a pointer. Decent pointer. There we go. So I just used one of those. I drilled it out a little bigger, put the SMA in it. It makes it nice and clean on the back. It's not labeled, but I know what it is. So I have my secondary RF coming out. It's in line with all this stuff, so it made it look nicer. I just slid that, and you know, I put a piece of double-sided sticky tape down, slid it inside a piece of heat shrink, and that's it. So as long as the radio's on, this board is powered. And you know, like I said, I followed the manufacturer of that board on the attachment points. I mean, it was something that he offered. So if you were to get one of these, you know, as long as you can get some sort of schematic for the radio, that's it there. Anyways, Radio Man back here. So here it is back in the rack. My way is not the end-all be-all way, but a lot of people are asking me. Hopefully I made something coherent enough. The reason why I like having my equipment in the rack is I have cats, and it allows me to close the door, and the rack has wheels on it so that I can get behind everything. So, you know, it's usually like that when I'm using it. I have an external speaker up above me, so it fills this room with plenty of sound when I need to hear what I'm doing. I don't use the internal speaker in the radio. So I'll just show you the back real quick. Maybe instead of pausing, I'll just do it this way. I think it might be easier. Let's see if I can get in here. It's, you know, like I said, my stuff is never... So here's the tap point coming out of the back, and it just goes down here up into the SDR play, which is right there on the top of the shelf. So that's the system there. I think I showed you that. SDR plays up there. So yeah, I'll just wheel this back when the video's done here, and that's my setup here. So just gently put this back. roll that back. And so here's the system here. So it's kind of a hybrid, but it allows me to use the same antenna I use for my Ranger. It allows me to share the antenna. I don't have to worry about damaging my SDR play. I don't have to worry about damaging my 2995 doing it this way. This is, like I said, worked out very well for me. And it allows me to do the video gates, which you guys see over here. Yeah, I kind of operate weird. I'm over here, as you can see, and a lot of my equipment's over there. It's just how I like to do it. I mean, trying to pile all my equipment up on a desk, so I don't know. Like I said, some people might think it's weird, but it's how I do it. Probably the only other thing that's ever been a complaint of mine is doing things the way that I do it. I've always, you know, I see like in like websites where people almost have like these like mission control centers that look like something out of NASA. I've always thought that'd be kind of neat, but I'm constantly pulling things out of the rack. I'm constantly changing things. It just never ends up the way I like want it to look, but it works well and it's functional for me, and that's what everyone else has to figure out for themselves. So anyways, hopefully this answers some questions, is like how I'm doing the live streams. And I guess maybe I could show setting one up real quick as part of the video. All right, we'll see if we can do this. So the first thing we do is we get the camera out. Probably gonna operate up around 37. Well, I'm not actually gonna operate. Someone's playing music there, so we're not gonna go there. All right, we got somebody there. So then the next thing we'll do, we'll put this camera up. I know it's got to go roughly something like that. I'm gonna have to change it, but we'll come over here. All right, we'll come over here. Let's turn off this light because it's a little too bright to see what I'm doing. So we can see the camera's got to be adjusted a little bit for the S meter. So I just come over here. There we go. That's pretty good. So we got the S meter going. I'll put on the ticker here. I'm on channel 37. It's about what I want it to look like. Then I can minimize this. Let's move this up to 30. And then we got to move this up to 37 so that we see what we're listening to here. So here we go. We can see channel 37. Someone's up on 38 right now. So at this point, I can make the decision: either I can throw a pair of headphones on the SDR and listen to the SDR, or I can just listen to the radio and turn down the volume on the 2995. So it's just what you feel like doing, really. So we're set up, we're ready to go. The next thing we got to do is just go onto my YouTube account and say we're gonna go live. I'm just gonna do an unlisted one so you guys see what I'm doing here. I'm not even going to worry about changing the date or the text because I'm not going to save this. So I just go into here and I'm just going to change this to unlisted. Or yeah, unlisted, I guess. You know, I'd put in like the description that you guys would see. I'd put in the date. I already have a thumbnail. I just hit save, okay? So basically what this is saying here, let me make sure, yeah. What this is saying here is just let us know, because I have it configured. I will show you that. I have it configured here. Where is that? Is it here? Where I tell, oh yeah, streaming software. So I have it configured like you could go live like straight from your computer, but I'm using a piece of software. So anyways, we'll hit cancel there. So I just go into Streamlabs OBS when I'm ready to go, and I hit go live, and I minimize, and in about a second here you're going to see a preview of what I'm doing. And let me a minute, because I'm doing the screen share. There we go. So what we'll do is we'll drop down to my other computer here. I'm trying to do this so you guys can kind of see from like a first person perspective what I'm doing. Let's get this in here. Is that gonna? Alright. So then I just go here on, so say you're on YouTube, right? Bring up YouTube. I'm going to go to my channel here and bring up my live. So, alright. Now I'm making fun of myself. Why am I not seeing my live feed? I know I'm live right now. Here, let's do this. I guess because I don't normally do it this way. I'm not seeing myself. Why can't I figure this out? I know I'm let me pause this so I figure out why I can't find myself. Okay, so I finally found myself here. So we'll bring this up, and I just want to see the video. So here's the video link, and so here's my live feed right there, and we got some lights glaring because I got lights on down here in the S meter. That would normally not be there, but because of what I'm trying to do this kind of but quick and dirty. But what you guys can see is here's my live feed here. So you know, this is what you guys are seeing when you come onto the feed, is you're seeing my feed. The only other thing that we're missing here is to show you is how do you get my sideband audio, I guess. So let me bring this out here. So the only thing I do is how do you get, like, I just take my mic that I plug into my computer. Gosh, well anyways, let me get this going here. I just put this mic right here on top of my, this is like a little like lavalier mic. Of course it's not staying on because it's connected to my phone right now and the cord's moving. But I'll just set that there, okay? And I run that into my Streamlabs OBS, and I'll show you. You can set up a push to talk button. So I have a push to talk button set up in Streamlabs OBS. So when I key up this radio, it keys up, my audio goes out to the guy I'm talking to on the radio, and then my audio goes to the lavalier mic, which is what you guys hear on the live feed. So I just wanted to show you that as well. There we go. I think that's everything. Hopefully I got it all. Anyways, guys, Radio Man here. Thanks for watching.